No, I just Just gonna go. Ow! We're home. Holy, I walked there and back without a sweater. I was just in this t-shirt. When I got there, Imelda, she's like, I saw you walking down the street with no sweater on, and I started freezing. I started laughing. I was like, I was hot. She's like, you're not cold? I'm like, no. And she's like, how's that possible? It's like -2 out there. I'm like, I don't know.
I'm too lazy.
You know, I just don't know. And they were like, your hair looks so cute today. How did you do that? I'm like, I took a scarf and I braided one side down and the other side, and then I wrapped it up and tied it on my head. And they're like, oh, that's interesting. It looks really cute. It suits your face. I'm like, thank you. It's called a braid crown. And they're like, wow. I'm like, yeah. I haven't done it in like a year or so. And today I thought it would be really nice to wear this braid crown today. And it would dry my hair. So my hair was a little damp when I woke up. So I needed to dry it. So yeah. I'm probably going to take it down though. And then put my hair up in a bun again, because Well, I can't wear it like this all day. It's uncomfortable. I gotta figure out a way of making it more comfortable first before I can wear my hair like this all day. But anyway, I shall be back a little later. I have things to do. And I gotta find coffee. So I'll be back. Don't worry. I will be back. All right. So before I do this video, I have to make a disclaimer and a trigger warning. Sorry, I had some soup. Very little, but it was still delicious. So it got all over my face because I just devoured it. It's so good. Anyway, trigger warning, because this woman becomes very, very insensitive and ruthless, okay? And I want to give you this trigger warning because she is we're talking about something that happened to me when I was 18 and then 21. So both were offenses against me. Both were illegal, but they never got prosecuted. And you'll see why. There's like a very complex system in Canada. And basically, I tell her my story, and she's very insensitive and very, very cruel and hateful. So I'm giving you this trigger warning so that those who have experienced this kind of offense or abuse, sexual assault, and mistreatment by doctors, if you've had any of those experiences, trigger warning, there's going to be a lot of talk about it. And yeah, so I just wanted to give you that trigger warning before we begin before I begin to show you what happened. Okay? Okay. Good talk. Enjoy. All right. So this is the portion where she becomes very, very cruel. And so that's why I had to give the disclaimer and the trigger warning. If you want to read what's going on, just hold your thumb down or your finger onto the video, and it'll pause, and you can read what's going on in each slide. Okay. I don't understand why she decided to become so cruel. It doesn't make any sense to me, considering she was like bashing men, and then all of a sudden she's sticking up for a rapist. So I didn't understand the complete 180 that she did, you know. On top of that, she was just becoming very belligerent in the way that she was responding to me. I think maybe she was trying to shut me down so that I would stop commenting and that she could have the last word. I think that's what was going on originally. But then later in the conversation, as you'll see later on, I checkmate. I finally just get it over with because I'm tired of playing, right? And so I checkmate, and I thought for sure that she would just, shake my hand, admit defeat, and bow out. But no, she decided, even though she's in checkmate, she's just going to move her king back and forth. And I'm just going to keep checkmating her, and she's just going to keep moving her king back and forth rather than just ending the game and shaking my hand and admitting defeat. She just continues. You know what I mean? She's so stubborn. She just doesn't want to end the game until it's ended by her terms, on her grounds. She sounds very narcissistic, if you ask me. dominant and narcissistic. If you take it into consideration that I checkmated and then she just keeps moving her king around just for, giggles, tickles and giggles, like why? Why are you continuing when it's already done? Like, how many times do I have to checkmate you? I don't get it. Anyway, this isn't the portion where that happens. This is the portion where I'm giving her a chance to get a better footing on the board, to like be a little more challenging for me, because I'm kind of bored, I'm kind of bored right now in the chess game because I know I'm about to win. I can just see that she's lost every single piece except the queen and the king. And I'm like, well, all that's left is to take the queen and then checkmate for sure. However, she keeps trying to protect the queen. And she doesn't even realize that her protecting the queen is going to make her lose the king. And then she finally gives up the queen. And then there's just a king. And then I'm like, you're checkmated. You have nothing left on the board. It's just my queen and your king. And I can move anywhere with this queen, right? Your king can only go backwards and forwards. Forwards and backwards and side to side. That's it. He can't go diagonal or anything like that. My queen can move anywhere on the board. And I still have quite a few protections around my king, right? Because she didn't take that many pieces. She took just all of my pawns. I gave up one of my brooks and maybe a bishop. And then she happened to take one of my knights once. But I have my other knight, my other brook, my other bishop, and they're protecting the king. My queen is the one running around defeating the rest of the board. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm giving you a chess analogy, but anyway. Suffice to say, my king is fortified behind a great wall of, pieces, and she has no way of getting to my king. She has to come through the queen. And my queen has taken every single one of her pieces except for the king. She's checkmated, but she won't give up. And that's later. Right now, I'm still trying to give her some time. Like, she has a few pieces left on the board. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to give her leeway to make it a little more interesting for me, so that it's a little more challenging, the results. However, she doesn't take the mercy. You know what I mean? She doesn't take the mercy. So I'm just like, why didn't you just take the mercy? Like, why wouldn't you do that? I didn't understand. What's her game here, right? But then I realized that she's just a narcissist. She has to dominate. She has to be the one to dominate. And she'll do anything to dominate. She's protecting that queen at all costs. She's even willing to give up her king at one point, And I'm thinking, but you're going to lose the queen. And then when she loses the queen, she doesn't even care. She doesn't even care that she lost the queen. She's like, oh, well, at least I still have the king on the board. You won't win until I'm ready for you to win, basically. That's how it seems, at least. You'll see what I mean. Right now, it's the long game I'm playing right now. I'm still very, very calm as I'm describing what happened to me, and I just keep talking to her civilized and as if she's a friend. I'm talking to her like she's a friend of mine, telling her the story. I don't have any attitude towards her when I'm speaking about it. I'm not giving her any indication that I'm bitter about how she's responding. I I don't give any indications of any of that, right? I'm just explaining, well, you're wrong. This is why. And like I'm basically saying in every single comment, what would you have done if you were in this situation, kind of thing. Like you have to put yourself in my position during these situations, right? And then decide what you would have done under the circumstances. Like you have to understand the context of the circumstances to understand what happened and why those things happened, right? And I gave her very little about the sexual assault because I knew what she was, because the way she was already responding to it, I knew what she would have said if she hadn't known the whole thing. So I tell her later, which is my way of giving her mercy, giving her the upper hand, but she didn't take it. Like I said, you'll see. I tell her the truth and I'm like, now I know exactly what you're going to say. You're going to say the same thing the cop said to me, blah, 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 blah. And then she just doesn't get that that was me giving her mercy. And she just completely disregards it. Oh. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. But yeah, she was just so cruel, you know? And I don't know how I didn't react any other way. I just kept my elegance, calmness, and kindness demeanor. I don't know how that was even possible. Like, imagine you're me and you're explaining this very horrible thing that happened to you. Now it's been years, right? 20 years since it happened, the sexual assault. It's been 20 years, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't still affect me today. You know what I mean? And it will almost be 20 years since I was forced to abort my child. In 2028, it will be 20 years since that happened to me. So both events happened not so far from each other, and they greatly shaped who I am today. And I should be emotional and angry and bitter and, you know, violently outbursting at her. However, the way I was looking at this, she doesn't know me from Sally down the street. I don't know her from Sally down the street. She's some random person online in a comment section. She doesn't matter to me. She's not my friend. She's not my sister. She's not my cousin. She's not my aunt. Who is she to me? No one. So why do I have to care about what she thinks and says about me? Why do I have to care about that? You know? And then the other thing is, if you're going to ask me, like, then why would you just spill that? All of that information? Why would you just tell her all of that information? Because I was trying to gauge what kind of human I was dealing with. That's why. Okay? Now, this paragraph that I'm telling you guys to read in this, it's a very disgusting paragraph. Okay? So it basically says, between the years of 2009 and 2017, they had like hundreds of thousands of rape reports, okay? So sexual assaults. And out of all those cases, okay, 7%, now this isn't just every year, this is between the years of 2009 to 2017. So all those years in between, all together, 7% were prosecuted and had a guilty conviction and ended up in jail. 7% of those cases were the only ones that made it to court. That says a lot. That says that the system here in Canada doesn't prioritize sexual assault. Okay? They don't They literally do not care. It happened to me, and they literally made excuses of why they didn't want to prosecute him. Repeatedly. They closed my case after 6 weeks of it being open. They barely did any investigating. It was mostly me going to the doctor and getting physical evidence. And then, I was giving them ideas. I call them, hey, I have my doctor's report. He did an examination on my lower part. I have the report if you want it, blah, blah, blah. And then a month later, when I got called back in because the results came back from the pap test that he gave me, and I got chlamydia from him. I said, hey, can you get the report from the doctor of the DNA sequence for the chlamydia that was found in my pap test, and you can cross-reference it with the DNA of the chlamydia that my rapist had. And you can prove that he did do what he did. And right after I sent that voicemail to the cop was when she called me back and told me, there's no way this is going to court. You should just let it go. We already closed the case 6 weeks after it was open. You're just beating a dead horse, basically is what she said. So I got nothing out of it except a victim service counselor. Same with when I was mistreated in the ER in 2008, and she yelled at me and scared me into signing papers that I had no idea what I was signing. I knew she wanted me to sign the papers so that I would end the pregnancy and get the cysts removed. I knew that much, but I didn't know what else it was saying. You know what I mean? I was so drugged, and she was yelling at me and scaring me. So I just did what she told me to do, And then afterwards, I was very, very depressed and distraught. And so they gave me a bereavement counselor. I mean, to work through my pregnancy loss, as they called it. That bereavement counselor told me the best way to move past what has happened is to get a little box, put all the stuff that you bought for the baby into the box, give the baby a name and a gender, and bury the box, and visit it every time you think of the baby. That was their way of me trying to learn how to cope and deal with something that was forced on me that I did not want, I wouldn't know until I was pregnant with Logan that didn't even have to happen. When I was pregnant with Logan, I had ovarian cysts again, and they were much bigger. One was almost 12 centimeters. And so my OBGYN, she was very, very scared for me. And I was scared. They gave me drugs, obviously, because I was in pain. And then I said, please don't make me abort this baby. And the OBGYN said, what? What do you mean? And I said in 2008, when I had ovarian cysts, I was pregnant at that time too. And the OBGYN made me abort my child to save my life. And she said, we don't have to go into the uterus to get to the ovaries. I don't even understand why she would do that. And I said, what? And I was so mad. I was furious. I was like, she didn't have to do that to remove the cysts, so I could have had the child. I was so upset, you don't even know. And then I wanted to sue her, but I didn't remember her name. The ER doctor, OBGYN. I didn't remember her name. I tried to release the Freedom of Information to find out who was the one that was attending that night. But it seemed like it was just going to be a lot of stress for me, and I was already pregnant. And I didn't want to, like, have that stress and then possibly miscarry. So I was just really, really trying to get through the pregnancy. So, yeah, I decided, well, it was quite a long time ago, you know. So I let it go. I could have pursued it, but I didn't. That's a regret I'll always have, but I chose Logan. I chose to keep him safe in my belly instead of causing myself unnecessary stress. So, yeah. These events really did happen to me, and if they hadn't have happened to me, it wouldn't have brought me to where I am now. God knows what each soul needs to make it back to Him. He sees the end from the beginning. That means that before you're even born, He saw your whole entire life, what decisions you were going to make, and what those decisions would lead to. And each time those decisions were made by you, free will, He was trying to find a way to bring you to Him. He knew me so well that He knew that it was going to take a lot to break me down to the point where I would be able to accept the truth of Him. And that's our God. Like, He's so great. He's so awesome. And He's so good. He knew exactly what I needed to get to Him. And He did those steps so that I would come to Him. And I had to come to Him in a broken state so that I would need Him. And that's exactly what He wants. He wants all of us to understand we need Him. He doesn't need us. We need Him. He loves us. He wants to love us. That's all He wants from us is love. He doesn't need it. He just wants it. You know? So He brought me to Him the only way He knew how. And so here I am. I'm with Him, and I'm not going to just leave now. I mean, I spent all this time, and I have a very healthy obsession with God, like a very healthy obsession, where all I want to do is learn as much as I can about Him. I want to do better. I want to be better. I'm striving to be more Christ-like every single day, so much so that I went through this kind of abuse from this feminist, and I took it graciously. You know what I mean? Like, I turned the other cheek every time she said something horrible. Okay, well, I basically, I feel like in this moment when I was being berated like this, I feel like when Jesus was arrested and He was standing before the Sanhedrin and all of the elders were standing there yelling at Him, spitting on Him, slapping Him, pulling His beard, I feel like that's basically what I was doing. I was standing there while they were taking shots at me, and I didn't do anything to defend myself. I just took it. So I hope I glorified the Lord in my responses. If anything, I hope that I glorified the Lord in my mannerisms and my behavior and my humility. I hope that I glorified Him no matter what this woman thinks of me. I don't care. I couldn't even care less. I couldn't even care less. And every chance I get, I bring up Jesus and God. So, because I love Jesus. I love Him. I love Him so much. But yeah, there you have it. This is the end of the conversation as far as I know, unless she commented again, which I believe she would have because she's a narcissist and she needs to have the last word, and she will never have the last word. I won't let her. I won't let her. Because she's got to learn the hard way that not everything is her way or the highway. You know what I mean? I don't think she's ever been told no. The way she responds, I think she's never been told no. So yeah, I'll be back in a little bit. Well, y'all, today's been a bad day. Shortly after I put up the video of the comments, my sister called me to tell me that my mom is in congestive heart failure in the same hospital that my dad died. I don't know if I can handle if she dies now. So I just been crying and not feeling good. So pray for my family and my mama, please. This will be a very huge devastation to us all. If she goes now too. It's too soon. Especially after my dad, not even like a month ago. It's only been almost 3 weeks. Too soon, I can't even think about it. So please pray for us and my mama. Please. So my mommy called me not too long ago. We talked for a half hour. They have her on a medication that relaxes the lungs, so that's easier for her to breathe. And she says that she's been feeling a little better since they gave her that. So that's really good news. I didn't tell her about the congestive heart failure because Kaylee told me not to. So I just said, you have severe pneumonia, and they said you're going to be there at least for 7 days until the infection's cleared up. That's what I told her. I said, so rest as much as you can so you can get better faster and you can go home faster. And she said, oh, I'm going to. So she hates hospitals. She wants to go home. So it made me laugh. And I was really happy that she's still mom. She's so stubborn. So I'm glad. I was so scared earlier. So scared. Anyway, we're going to do a quick wrap up. Not like a huge one like I usually do. We're going to do a quick one. I'm basically going to show you the reflections. And just basically that. And then I'm going to end the video for tonight. I'm going to do daily wisdom too quickly and at the same time. And then I'll end the video for tonight. And because I want to go to bed early because I had a very stressful afternoon. Very stressful. So I kind of just want to go and sleep. Sleep it away, you know? Just today be done. So let's do this. All right. Love isn't based upon emotions and feelings. romance, and flowers, your happiness, or anything of this nature. Love is based upon bearing all things, believing all things, hoping all things, enduring all things. Love never fails. 1 Corinthians 13:7-8. Think how strong marriages would be if instead of basing their marriage on how they want it to be, women based it on true love instead. They bear and endure with kindness and those things that bother them about their husbands. They bear and endure with kindness those things that bother them about their husband. They believe and hope for the good of their marriage because they know that with God all things are possible. They decide that their love for their husband will never fail, just as God's love for them never fails. They are covenant keepers. God didn't ordain women to be in the workforce, police force, or military, taking over men's jobs. He didn't intend for women to take birth control so they could fornicate, murder their babies, and have careers. He didn't intend for babies to be put in daycare and put children in a godless government education system for their entire childhoods. He never intended for divorce to be easy and often. God ordained women to be keepers at home. He ordained them to be married to one man for life. He ordained them to be sexually pure before marriage and have babies once married. He ordained men to be in the workforce, protecting and providing for the women and children in their lives. His ways are so good, women. Can't you see this now as our culture grows more wicked by the day? Yes, I can definitely see that God's ways is perfect, and that's why we live God's ways. And He has always provided and kept us afloat, kept us going every single time. He's been faithful and provided and made sure that we always had what we needed and we never went without. That's because I obey. All women should learn this obedience and love to obey God in the same manner and endure no matter what. All right, reflecting on to love their husbands. The physical union between a man and a woman is so beautiful, so otherworldly, that God uses sexual intercourse to illustrate our relationship with Him. Ephesians 5:22-33. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Ephesians 5:32. Traits of a good helpmeet. A good helpmeet glories in answering her husband's needs. She learns to know his needs even before he is aware he has them. She empties her mind of the cares of the world so her body can respond to him with eagerness. Traits of a wife who is in danger of blaspheming the word of God. Accuses her husband of lust towards her because he wants sex more than she does. Accuses her husband of being insensitive when he needs sex and she doesn't feel the desire. Excuses her lack of wanting to satisfy him sexually on the grounds that you fill in the blank. The excuses list can be very long. Make a new habit. Make a list of personal plans of how you are going to love your husband. Be sure you come up with lots of bright ideas. I would suggest at least one special date a week. Plan on a different addition to your birthday suit each week, such as ribbons, bows, furs, jewelry, lace, jeans, scarves, feathers, ragged t-shirt, a chain of wildflowers, or whatever. Just use your imagination. Getting serious with God. The Song of Solomon is the 22nd book of the Bible. It is a love song play that was written by Solomon about his wooing and wedding of a shepherd girl. All 8 chapters tell the story in graphic poetic detail of longing for the lover, finding the lover, and what the lovers did when they were together. Most commentators find a need to turn the passage into a spiritual picture of Christ's love for the church. I sincerely believe that old Solomon was thinking of the sexual expression of his love for her when he wrote it. And I think the same when I read it. What do you think? As you read God's novel about sex, ask yourself if you feel toward your husband the same hunger as the shepherd girl did for her lover. Make a written list of things you are going to do that will start a change in your actions. Your feelings will follow suit. Several good reasons to be sexy for your man. It's fun. It's healthy. Studies prove regular sex makes a person healthier. Several good reasons to be sexy for your man. It's fun. It's healthy. Studies prove regular sex makes a person healthier. It provokes a man to appreciate you. It causes him to feel good about himself. It mellows a woman out and helps keep her hormones balanced. It safeguards your husband from wily, sinful women. Sinful women trying to mar his integrity. Children benefit from having a mother and daddy who are terribly in love. It is intended by God to be an earthly example of divine worship and intimacy. It makes sweet babies. One of the things I really love about this book is the fact that it corrects women. And I have seen on numerous occasions, even today, on the Transformed Wife page, women literally justifying and excusing their bad behavior. Oh, so we have to be corrected, but the husband doesn't need correction? We're worrying about what we're responsible for, first of all, okay? We're responsible for ourselves, and our behavior isn't contingent on his behavior. We choose how we're going to behave because we have free will. And if we choose to obey God because we love God and honor and respect and obey and reverence our husbands, then we are doing the right thing and we're being holy. Doesn't matter what your husband's doing. If he's doing whatever, being sinful or whatever he's doing, it doesn't matter. As long as you're obeying the word, you're safe. So what does it matter? Like, I don't understand. Women are just so, I don't know, selfish. The word is selfish. You know what I mean? Selfish. Like, give your man what he wants. It's not hard. And men are very easy to please. Wow. Anyway, I'm very tired. I'm going to be going to bed very soon. I'm like really exhausted after the stress I had. I'm like really tired because I was very stressed out in the afternoon today. So I'm quite ready for bed. So I'm going to get this video up and then I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to wake up tomorrow at my regular time, 4:45. I'll have had enough sleep because I'm going to bed so early tonight because I really just can't be up anymore. I had such a bad day. I just want it to be over. So at least it ended well. So, you know, good night. Sleep tight. See y'all at 4:45 a.m. in the morning. Tomorrow's a busy day. I have to go to the food bank, so there's going to be a lot of snappy snaps, okay? So I'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Later for now.